Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the KGC Fourball podcast this evening. My name is Fraser Bondi. Then on my right, we've got Mr. PVK. We've got Dan Crook, DC NZ13, and Cam Jones at Cam Jones Golf. How are we doing there, fellas?
Doing well.
Yeah,
Bondi.
doing good. Doing
Might
great.
need to unmute. There we go. Good.
There we go.
Good.
Now,
Good to
I
be
mean,
back.
40 minutes of practice for that unmute button there. Okay, good. So we want to get the ball rolling pretty quick here, boys. We got a pretty special guest who's prepping himself to come on in a little bit. Which, we'll get to.
Big show.
Yeah, big show.
Excellent.
So we'll start. We'll go through what we're going to do. Is we're going to do what you're drinking, a mo check, and a thing that was good that happened this week. We won't dwell on the week so much. So I'll kick it off, and then we'll throw out the PVK. But I've got the bone base back on the beers after last week. The mo looking pretty, getting there, a little thin in the middle. Don't know how I'll go there. And the good thing for me this week is actually been to the range twice in the last 7 days. So dangerous.
I've seen you down there, mate. I don't know what you're up to.
I'm very. It's very scary down there. Don't know too many people down there. It's very far from the office.
Were you down there for yourself or coaching?
No, for myself. Working on my own golf.
In bare feet too. I don't know why.
I'm working on my ankle stability or something like that. Anyway, Mr. PVK, tell us your three little things there. What do you got going on?
My golf protein sports water, thanks to Andrew Sutherland from Tattoo Golf for sending this up. Mo, she's getting there. I kind of started from scratch, and I think I need to fill it out a bit more. Maybe a little bit of exfoliating or something to stimulate growth. And what was the positive for last week? 36 holes on Friday.
There we go.
Golf wasn't too great, but I was out there for 36 holes, mean day, good company, and the beverages were flowing.
Where'd you play, bro?
I played up at Omaha, which is normally all good for me, but I've kind of been working on getting the club turned around, so I was actually drawing the ball out of bounds a fair bit.
Oh, yeah, no, it can't be left up there, mate.
It's dangerous up there.
Pretty ratchet. But all good. What you got going on, DC?
Beverage of choice for this evening, same as last week. We've got the Pals vodka Hawke's Bay lime and soda. My mo, like I can manufacture a filthy mo out of what I've already got. So it looks very France. Positive for the week. Started our golf boot camp on Monday morning. So what was that? Yesterday morning. So we had a few pros and some top aboners come to the studio, and we bashed out a hit session. So that was awesome, man. So get the old endorphins running, and good start to the week.
You look like you're about to do a magic show. That's the type of mustache you've got there.
Yeah, there's nothing magic about this, Mo, mate. But how about yours, Cam? How are you going down there?
I'm being pretty boring this week. I'm just running the waters. Just got to stay hydrated. Had a pretty big Saturday doing the run up the mountain. Then me and the boys got pretty stuck in Saturday night. So just trying to catch up with some water at the moment this week. The mustache is very ginger. I don't know if the light is actually displaying it very well, but it's really, really orange.
Is that a red hat or an orange hat?
This is a red hat.
Oh, okay. Just comparing the two shades.
But yeah, no, the most very orange. And the good thing that happened over the last week was probably the Movember fundraiser that I did on Saturday with my mates. Unbelievable day. Everybody was hurting, but we all got around each other pretty well. And doing something that hard was really rewarding as well. So for me, that's definitely a positive. And then we celebrated on Saturday afternoon into the night as well, which was fun.
Good shit,
man.
Yeah.
Just see we've had a special guest turn up in the green room, so it's probably worth bringing him straight in.
Well, we're gonna have to do that. I do have to give a shout out to very quickly to Dean Sippo, one of the KGC tuner inners, who won the Malone Golf South Taranaki Quarries shootout. By a couple of centimeters. So, Sippo, I know he's probably tuned in. Well done. You've still got it, old dog. Good on you.
Well done, Sippo, mate.
All right. So, we're bringing our...
Gary.
Yeah, over Gary too. So bringing our guest here, doesn't need too much introduction for New Zealand golf. Ryan Fox or Foxy, how you doing, man?
Evening, guys.
Here he is.
Welcome, Foxy.
So we've just been doing a quick check. Do you have a beverage this evening or keeping it healthy?
Yeah, I've got
Ooh.
that.
Seltzer.
That.
Pretty much my fridge is empty since I've got home, and that's all I could find. And it's
Right.
pretty average, to be honest. I was a bit lazy and didn't pour myself a gin and tonic.
Oh, we
Yeah,
can
mate.
give you time later on. We'll do a full intermission and everything. So, but you're back in New Zealand. What's it feel like being back home?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously good to be back home. It was touch and go there for a while with that MIQ system we've got. So yeah, it's nice to be back. It's been, obviously with the restrictions a little bit frustrating, but still been able to catch up with family and play golf with a couple of mates. So that's been good, and managed to get the boat out a couple of times as well.
Foxy, Dan here, just quickly, did you do the 1 week or the 2 weeks? In
No,
purgatory?
I've done 2 weeks 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
Oh,
Lots of
Give me
putting
a
practice or
Give me
chipping?
a second, boys. My headphones decided to run out of battery, so I'll just disconnect them.
And
Alright.
pour yourself a gin at the same time.
No issues, mate. No
We'll
issues.
bring him back in. That's us. We're going live. But yeah, that
It's Foxy
MIQ
for this
thing.
week.
That's our special guest, Foxy.
That
Cheers,
MIQ.
guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Jesus.
There it is.
It's a. Yeah,
Can you guys
it's
hear
a-
me now?
Yeah, mate. That's
Yeah.
actually quite good.
Yeah, that's way clearer.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
That what we're doing? Okay. Yeah. Well, that was. We won't. I don't want to jump the gun too early on some of the bigger questions. And I know that you've said some things pretty openly about the MIQ clusterfuck, as Wayne Dickinson called it.
That's a very good description of it. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah. No, it must be pretty hard on yourself and the family and such, because they came back in with you, eh?
Yeah, they travelled. They were up there since the Open this year in July, and then we were pretty keen to get back home for Christmas, and it was messy just trying to get a spot, and it did make MIQ a lot better being with them, but also trying to entertain a 10-month-old for 2 weeks in a hotel room is kind of interesting as well. So I think we just gave up at the end of the week and started watching the Wiggles,
Oh, mate.
which is grim.
DC,
Tell me about
PBK,
it.
and Foxy could probably have a bit to talk about here with some of the. Some
Yeah,
of
I was
the
going to
stuff,
say,
eh?
surely you're on Coca Melon by now.
No, brother.
Nah, not quite. Although we did find a couple other random things on Netflix, which I don't ever want to see again.
What are they,
Don't
mate?
go
What
down
are they?
Blippy. Don't.
I've wiped them from my memory. It was that bad.
Got a new Netflix account to get them off the continue watching and such, eh?
PJ.
Oh no.
Oh,
All right.
It's Emma's yellow bow is the one.
I was
for
going to
my
say,
daughter.
Yellow Bow would have been quite fitting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
tonight.
So you got back, and I'm also a member of the Howraki Golf Fishing page. How was the first trip back out on the boat? So
It wasn't actually my boat I went back out on. I went out on the father-in-law's boat. I just put a Minn Kota on my boat. I won't explain what that is for those of you that don't know, but makes fishing a lot better. So the first trip was actually on the father-in-law's boat, and we put 18 snapper in the bin for 3 of us, so it wasn't a bad day. It was a little slow, and I got my boat back on Thursday and went out to the Mokahinas on Friday. So we got a few fish out there, but wasn't
It's a
quite
big
as
trip.
many kingfish as I wanted to get. But I still got a fair bit of time before Christmas to sort that out.
living the dream. Well, that was actually one of Dan's things. We got to do some quick fire questions, but if it was if it was kingfish, what was the question there, Dan?
The question was, would you rather? It was a would you rather question. So,
Yeah.
would you rather a 20-pound snapper or a 20-kilo kingy?
I'd rather a
Good.
20-pound snapper because I've caught quite a few
Yes.
20-kilo kingies.
Oh,
Put up
Wait.
40
If
Shot
you'd,
Fraser?
if you'd have put that to if you'd have put that
30?
to like 30 or 40 kilo kingy, then I'd probably take the kingfish.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only said probably the kingy because I probably couldn't lift up a 40 kilo. I don't have any meat on me to drag it.
Do you
through the
even
water.
weigh 40 kilos, Fraser?
After a shower, mate? What do you mean? I shower with all my clothes on. All right. We'll stop making fun of me very quickly, and we'll move on. We want to do some quick fire questions here with you, Ryan. Fire you through some of those with what we got.
So make sure this week they're quick though, because last week I was being very slow with them.
Snap. First answer that comes in.
Horrible guest.
Yeah. So, favorite beer?
I don't drink beer, so
Okay,
that's
great.
no
Perfect.
go.
Okay, favorite course inside New Zealand?
Tahiti. That's a pretty easy one.
Good. Outside New Zealand?
Port Rush, but there's a lot. There's 3 or 4 that get pretty close up there. Shinnecock, Pebble Beach. I love St Andrews as well. There's quite a few on that list, but Port Rush is probably just the top of it.
Okay, well, slightly different maybe from Tahiti is what's the best gem golf course in New Zealand, like a little country course, grassroots that you like? Nope.
Oh.
Have we lost me? No, we haven't lost me.
No, we've...
Oh.
And Dan. Oh.
Hey, no, I'm still here.
So, yeah, I don't know what happened there. More nostalgia than anything else, but I actually think they've done a really good job there over the last few years. It's in a pretty good nick.
All right, cool. And
Sorry.
have I just...
Where was that? Sorry, I think we had a bit of technical. I'm not too sure if it's me or
Whitford Park for me.
Whitford Park, yeah.
Beauty.
Great track.
Okay, who's your favorite professional golfer to watch?
Tiger. I can't go past that. It's I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, yeah. Who haven't you golfed with so far? Probably the same answer, but who haven't you golfed with so far that you would want to?
Tiger would be it, but I've technically played a hole with him, so I don't know if that counts. Does that count or not? If that counts, I'll give you another. If that doesn't count,
it doesn't count. What's the other one?
I don't know. I'll give you another answer if you won't accept that.
Yeah, give us another one.
We won't accept.
Yeah, there's another one.
I'll probably say Jack Nicklaus, just purely for the stories.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. Yeah. Okay, so if you have to give up tomorrow, you have to give up either golf or you had to give up fishing for the rest of your life. Which one would you choose? Oh, hard.
Sponsors are watching.
Fishing because golf. Yeah, I have to give up fishing because golf pays pretty well at the moment. But ask me that in 5 years.
All right. Okay. What's your personal best deadlift? Because you're a bit of in the gym there quite a bit. How much are you deadlifting?
PB deadlift is 195.
Okay. And then what are you benching?
I did 125 yesterday.
Oh, yeah, same. Okay. And not a chance. Yeah. Not a chance. That's a lot too. Jesus.
Was that pounds or kilos?
We try. Okay. And then did you play Omaha yesterday via helicopter?
No, but I played Omaha on Thursday and Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I remember no helicopter.
No. My in-laws live on the golf course up there.
Oh, right. And who is the weirdest player or person you've had to deal with on the tour?
I can't just give you one name for that. There's a lot of them.
Is there a lot? Okay.
Give us the top 3.
I won't give you a specific name, but let's just put it this way: that most professional golfers are strange. You spend a lot of time by yourself in hotel rooms and all of that. You develop some quirks, and there's a lot of guys quirkier than others, but pretty much everyone's a bit weird out there.
Okay, very nice, nice answer.
Enough,
we're talking about weird people out there on tour. PVK's got a bit of a question to go.
Well, it's not really a weird question. It's I guess just before we kind of jump the gun a bit. For those that are watching, please do send through your comments or questions for Fox and we'll get across to them. And we had this first one come through from Steve Watkinson. When will the photo shoot be with Brooks? And for those that aren't aware, Brooks Koepka signed with Strixon today, and Foxy is in the Strixon, I guess, the pen camp. Is that going to happen?
No, I'm pretty sure they'll take Hideki and Shane for that one, maybe.
I can't believe he left you out of the press release today, Foxy.
I was pretty cut up about that too.
Yeah. couple of years ago, I might have been close, but now I've played a bit shit the last 2 years.
We'll get you back up there. And then I guess that kind of brings us to the next thing with are you Team Brooks or Team Bryson?
Is that even a question? I mean, surely everyone's a Team Brooks.
Yeah, there it is. The right answer.
I mean, if
The
you're
right
going to
answer.
answer the question, who's the weirdest dude out there? I mean, he's got to be not Brooks. Bryson's got to be pretty close to the top of that list.
There we go. We got there in the end.
Okay.
You just wanted
Just
me
had
to
to-
say that, didn't you?
Just had to bait it out of you.
He is a bit
I
of a
mean, it's
space cadet.
impressive what he's done, and it's impressive what he's done, but he's done some weird shit too.
Yes. You and Brooksy would have quite a bit in common, though. Both loving your fishing and hitting the long ball, Foxy.
Yeah, no, he was. I played with him in the last round of the Open this year. Got along with him real well. He was real chilled out and didn't talk too much about fishing, but I think he's just a sports nut in general, which that works pretty well with me. And I did actually sort of wind him up about Bryson a little bit and said, what's going on there? And he just laughed. He said, I'm just having a bit of fun. He's taking it far more seriously than I am.
Yeah. Well, they're both going to be profiting it out of it this Thanksgiving over there, aren't they?
Yeah. There's
Push that
probably
9-hole match
there's
this
quite a bit
week.
of money involved. I can't blame them for that.
Absolutely. Well, should we wrap up, Fraser? I'll get to my 3 quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Not really golf related, but Foxy, if you're on a night out on the piss, mate, what are you drinking?
Yeah, it's going to sound weird, but probably red wine.
Nice. You're on your way home. You've just stumbled out of Danny Doolan's. This is pre-baby, obviously. What do you stop and eat on the way home?
This is like that. That's more than 10 years ago. The last time that happened. I'm old, mate. Don't forget.
Okay,
that.
let's wind the clock back, mate. What do you stop and eat on the way home?
It was always Macca's, but I was never a big eater on the piss, to be honest.
Okay.
I more drank too much this is at uni. I more drank too much and then needed to throw up at the end of the night. So eating wasn't really part of it.
Okay, fair, mate. And the last question is, it's Sunday. You're on the couch. You're hungover, mate. What are you watching on the telly?
Probably the PGA Tour.
Nice. Good answer. Common answer, but that's good. Those are my 3, mate. Fraser, over to you, bud.
Does Dan? Did you have a couple more questions you want to throw there?
Quick fire
ones?
questions?
Yeah, a couple of quick ones
Did
before we
I?
get into the. If you don't, that's fine.
I've got a new one that I just heard. What did you study at uni, bro? Just curiosity.
I did an arts degree majoring in psychology, which has been a whole lot of help so far.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting. A little bit different out there.
I started a law degree actually. So
Really?
and then decided I hated law, and then the only thing I actually did that was half decent was psychology. So carried on with that and pretty much just ended up playing golf instead of going to uni. But I did manage to get a degree.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
How deep did you get into the law degree before changing?
I had to finish my first year, but I reckon I got about a quarter of the way through the first semester before I decided I didn't want a bar of it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I approve your career choice. Golfer.
Yeah, golf's golf's a bit more fun than being a lawyer, and I mean I'm nuts enough as is. I don't think you can talk to me as a psychologist.
Foxy, just for the general public out there, mate, we all know that you're a monster, but how tall are you? How much do you weigh?
I'm just under 180, and I weigh about 102.
Pounds? Kilos?
It depends pre or post quarantine when you ask that question as well. Pre-quarantine, I'm probably closer to 100, and post-quarantine, I'm probably closer to 105.
There you go.
Right.
No activity in MIQ.
No activity, and you just lie in your bed and watch TV for 14 days.
Right. Pretty.
Couldn't imagine.
Which is it's really good for like 2 days, and then you get bored.
Yeah, run out of things to watch and that.
How many times have you done MIQ now, Foxy?
3 now.
3. So
Hopefully that's
2
the
week
last
ones.
time I ever have to do it.
Yeah.
I've
fair
done
enough,
3
mate.
2 week ones. Yeah, 2 by myself and then one with the family this time.
Which was harder?
The hardest one was the first one I did. I'd been away for 12 weeks by myself in full bubble on the European tour. Like we weren't allowed to do anything. So it was pretty much quarantine apart from you could play golf. And then I think I played 11 or 12 weeks in that stretch as well. So I was broken and came back and had to sit in a hotel for 14 days. I was, mentally I was done. The second one was a little bit better. I was only away for 3 weeks. My daughter was 4 weeks old when I left. So that was a little tough, missing a couple of weeks there. And then the last one was probably the best one in terms of how quick the time went, but probably the worst hotel I had. We got shipped to Rotorua as well. So you throw in a 4-hour bus trip on top of 30 hours of travel. And we were also close contact on the way down of someone with COVID. So we weren't allowed outside the room for 9 days.
Far out.
And then, of course, the fresh air when you're in Rotorua, that would have been awesome too. So,
yeah. I mean, we in the end, I mean, the hotel room was old and a bit shitty, but we had some space and a balcony that we could at least sit out on. So that was a positive. That kept us sane, I think, for most of the time. But yeah, it was pretty painful. And then obviously you get let out, and then you've got a 4-hour bus trip back to Auckland just to finish you off.
We've got a couple of questions from the audience, Bondi.
Yeah, we better.
It would have been great for you to spend time with your family, though, kind of locked up for 14 days together and get that bonding in. I've kind of found the same.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was good. They travelled with me the last 6-7 weeks of the year. I mean, they were up there since July, but the last 6 or 7 weeks they could travel pretty easily. So we spent a lot of time together, and it was pretty cool. The little one had just started crawling before we got to MIQ, so just chuck her on the carpet and let her crawl around for a bit. And it was pretty good for probably about 10 days, and then the last 3 or 4 days it was, what are we going to do to entertain a 10-month-old? And that's when the wiggles came out a lot, and our sanity was definitely tested, as anyone with kids can attest to.
Yeah. You mentioned when you were up in Europe that you kind of restricted to just yourself, like not having other people in your bubbles. But when you are away on tour, who do you hang out with the most? Like, have you got?
I generally hang around with the South African boys and the Aussies. My best two mates on tour are Jason Scrivener and Justin Walters. So I spent a lot of time with them, and I played amateur golf against Scriv, and I've known him for like 15 years. So get along with him, and met Justin when I was playing Challenge Tour about 6 or 7 years ago. So lots in common, and I'll stay with them every now and again when we're allowed. Well, when we can get an Airbnb or something like that. But they're the boys that I'd go to have dinner, during the week, most weeks. And it's been this year was a lot better on tour in that regard. Like, we were allowed to do that kind of stuff, especially the back end of the year. So that made everything a little bit better. And last year was a bit more tough in that regard. You could pretty much only socialise with your caddy, which anyone that's had a caddy at some level, 4 hours on a golf course is long enough, let alone having to spend every minute of every day with them, basically. So I think that put a stress on a lot of guys' relationships over there.
For sure. What was it like having Dan and Gary up there as well? Obviously, Dan didn't play all the European Tour main events with you, but he obviously got to play a few British Open, and Gary obviously getting a few stars. It must be nice having some of the other boys up there as well for some practice rounds and that.
Yeah, I actually got a pretty good story.
Here we go.
Dan. So
yes.
Okay.
So I was in contact with him, but I didn't see him too much over there. And we sort of organised to play a practice round together on the Tuesday of the British Open. And he's with Ernie's management company, and his manager was supposed to organise it with Ernie. And that kind of fell through, and we're just going to play on Tuesday morning. And Ricky Fowler comes up to me in the players' lounge and goes, "Oh, I hope you don't mind, but me and Berger have put our names down with you guys to play a practice round." So I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good for Dan. He'll get to play with a couple of top players." And so we rolled to the tee. He was a bit nervous and was a little bit slow out there. We get through 9 holes, and Berger, we get to the 10th tee, and Berger looks at me and goes, "Do you want to play for something?" I was like, yep, sweet as. He goes, okay, the Yanks versus the rest of the world. Yep, no problem. He goes, okay, $100 a birdie. And Dan looks at me and goes, you what? And I was like, don't worry, we're okay. And he goes, okay, that's fine. And so it ended up being just normal second ball count, or basically second ball counts, 2 birdies beats 1. And Dan starts birdie. He bogeyed the 12th. He birdied the 13th. He birdied the 14th. He parred the 15th to win the hole. Then he birdied 16, 17, 18.
What?
And
Jesus.
we fleeced them like 4 and 3 for 9 holes. And Berger's looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is going on here? Like, you've just done us there. And Fowler paid me, which I was quite happy about. I have no idea if Berger paid Dan, but I think Dan was just happy to fleece a couple of PJ Tour pros. And to be honest, me and Rick hit it everywhere. And Berger was the only one holding the Yanks together, and Dan did all the work for me. So we just sort of sat back and watched, and me and Rick were just having a good laugh when we were making 4 or 5 bogeys on the back nine, going in there with a birdie. Dan's made 7 birdies and a bogey on the back nine, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work for him during the tournament. He probably used all his good golf on that Tuesday, but it was pretty good to see that he fleeced a couple of PJ Tour guys and properly impressed them. And I mean, anyone that see Dan play, he's got it. He's just got to figure out the touring side of it, figure out the that he is good enough, really. That you can't really force that. You've just got to put yourself in that position. And it was good to have him up there, and also good to have Gary. I saw a little bit of Gary, although he sort of switched in between Challenge and Main Tour a little bit. But we played a couple of practice rounds together, and it was nice just to be able to walk past him on the range and talk a little bit of shit. And he actually ended up on our flight back and was in the same MIQ hotel. Not that I saw him in those 14 days at all, but we exchanged a couple of messages about how silly it was. And he was on our bus down, and he was a close contact and wasn't allowed out of the room as well. So, hopefully we don't have to deal with any of that stuff going forward.
Yeah.
Hey, Foxy, where do you see Dan in 5 years, mate?
Wherever he wants to be honest, he's good enough. I mean, for me, I think this is going to sound weird, and if he happens to listen to this, I mean this with every bit of respect. I think the best thing for him was actually not getting his card this year. I was in the same boat in 2016. 2015. I was inside the number going into the final event, and I missed out and finished 16th, and it hurt. It was only 15 cards at that time. But I went back the following year, finished 4th, and pretty much got everything. And sort of how it works, I think the higher up the Challenge Tour rankings you are, the more guaranteed your schedule is, the more of the bigger events you're going to get in and know you're going to get in. And it just makes it a little bit easier. And I think that little bit of pain that he went through there, and knowing he knows he can win out there, and I'd expect him next year to go out and if not win the Challenge Tour rankings, get pretty close. Definitely get in that top 5 if he carries on how he's going. And it'll be a small blip in the radar, but probably a very valuable learning experience for him in that sense. And I said to him after he missed out, I said, mate, if you take at the start of the year with what's going on, no status, you're playing on invites, you've got to win, and you've got full status next year and some European Tour status on top of that. That's a pretty decent effort. And he said to me, in that sense, I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely would have taken that at the start of the year. So there's big things coming from him, I think.
Absolutely. Do you think, and understanding how the categories and stuff work up in Europe and on the Challenge Tour, he's obviously going to have a pretty full schedule on the Challenge, but will he get any starts on the Main Tour early in the season up in South Africa or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know. Like, it's changed. It seems to change every year at the moment. COVID, the fields went way down. I mean, say when I was in his category, and I was probably higher up the list, finishing 16th on on the challenge money list. I probably would have got 14 or 15 starts for the year, but all of the smaller events.
Yeah.
So that makes it pretty hard to get a card doing that. But I knew I had full challenge tour status. So I kind of played a few events at the start of the year, and then when challenge kicked off, I played all challenge. With his category this year, he probably would have got 18 to 20 starts on the European tour, and probably enough to get a card. But next year, with the DP World Tour starting and more money and probably more guys going to be back playing, I think a lot of the PGA Tour European boys will play a few more events. There's no kind of excuse over there now with COVID for guys not coming back. So, I think it'll probably be a little harder next year to get starts, but kind of won't know until those first few events happen. I would imagine he won't get close to any of the Middle East events at the start of the year. They're all shorter fields. I think they're sort of 120 something to 130 something instead of 156. But he might get some of the smaller events, and I think there's one in Kenya. He might get India if he dares to go to India. A couple of other ones. So he's got decisions to make on a schedule, but that's a good place to be. I think at least he knows he's got some certainty in a schedule, and he's got a decent management team around him who can help him make all those decisions.
We're actually a little bit of an exclusive. This is the first one Dan's ever going to watch because we've invited him to come on in 2 weeks. So perfect. he'll hear all of this. We'll get him in there right in a second. So no, that's actually really interesting, and that's a great insight.
The categories. The categories are quite funny. I mean, it's effectively a list, right? That starts off with Race to Dubai winners, and then goes down through Rolex Series winners and tournament winners, and then 110, and then Challenge Tour. So, effectively, you can work it out at the start of the year, kind of what you're going to get or what you think you're going to get. But, it's also kind of weird how some tournaments work. You've got some small tournaments that guys really like the golf course and really like playing, and they don't go down very far. And then you've got others which has a decent purse, and it's just a golf course people don't like, and it might go all the way through the list. It's pretty hard to work out.
Very strange. Well, we usually move into a bit of an ad break around this time, and I always like to thank Boneface for supplying me with some tasty beers. But what about like obviously your sponsors? Do you want to give them a bit of a shout out and who backs you, who helps you out?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky. I mean, I've been with Shrixon since before I turned pro. 2008, I think I first made the New Zealand Academy, and have been with them since then. And then, my big sponsor in New Zealand's been Rico, and they're a big client of my old man's through sports marketing, and they've helped me out right from the start. Been with them for 10 years, and they've been massive. And I got a couple in Europe, Eurocams, which is just a dude that we got to meet, and he sponsors a few European tour guys, and another mate of my old man's who we went to school with, who owns a energy company in the States called Stellar Energy, and they've been on board for a couple of years. So I've been pretty lucky. It's up until about 2 years ago, golf sponsorship was relatively easy to come by, and then it's sort of transitioned into they pay the bigger guys a lot more now, and the mid-range guys, it's a little bit of a struggle, and it kind of has. COVID's obviously made that even tougher. So I've been pretty lucky for the most part. With I've had some pretty long-standing sponsors, especially Shrixon and Rico, and they've stood by me regardless of COVID.
Oh, that's mint. Awesome. To see them supporting
Loyalty.
You and continue to so keep
good.
you going. So I do need to move into getting some. We got some live questions. We've got quite a few that we need to go through. We'll start with this one. I don't know if there's any backstory to this from Dan Togut. Can you come help your uncle Paul with the shanks? Yes,
I think he's beyond help from what I
understand.
Is he?
No, this is a Cam Jones golf bloke. Yeah. Lessons for Cam.
I mean, the shanks is just the shanks. It ain't technique. It's just purely mental. And if you've got them, you've got them.
You're only missing the sweet spot by like an inch. It's not much.
No, not anymore. That's with the old Hogan blades where they were like butter knives. You're a good like at least inch away from the sweet spot now.
Yeah.
From local junior at Howitt Golf Club, PJ Campbell. Do you still got a Nike long iron in the bag, or?
I don't think I've ever had a Nike long iron in the bag.
I think PJ just likes to plug Nike every chance.
It was a sponsor's plug, surely.
I don't think I've never had a Nike club in the bag at all.
Oh,
There you go.
this is awkward.
Brooks.
Real awkward. Next question, Fraser. Next question.
I'm back. Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. I got to pay the internet provider. Shout out Vodafone if you want to sponsor this podcast. we can reel that.
I'll go back to the shank question.
Yeah.
The easiest way to cure the shanks is set it up out of the heel.
Mm.
Your brain
Really?
works the opposite way.
Yeah.
If you set it up out of the toe, you'll end up sort of
forward.
moving onto it and try to hit it out of the center and probably hit it out of the heel. If you set it out of the heel, your brain's going to go, I really don't want to hit a shank, and probably drop it under and hit it closer to the toe.
Is
There you
that,
go,
Foxy,
pro
is
tip
that
from
way when
Foxy.
you set up and you set up on the heel and then you lift the club a good couple of inches off the ground? Is that what
No,
you're
that's just me. That's just my
That's just
pre.
Yeah.
No, I mean, thankfully, I've hit a shank on tour. I've hit a couple of shanks on tour, but I haven't had a proper dose of them, so that's good.
No,
I have followed a shank with a hole out on a par 3 though. So
Where was that? Was that up in like in Denmark or something?
nah, Scottish Open in 2017. Had a
Right.
pure hosel wedge into some chest high gorse bush, and then obviously thought I better hit a provisional, hold the provisional, and thankfully no one saw or even tried to look for my first one, so it was an easy putt.
Too easy.
Still haven't had a hole in 1 on tour, but I've had a hole in 3 and an albatross, so I think those are rarer.
No, that's way
Probably
better.
are.
That's the all-round Kiwi golfer, if you ask me. Here's a good one, actually. I saw probably a little bit of thing, but NZ golfers, so Co, Fox, Lee, and Alka versus the All Blacks. Who's getting the sort of priority there, or is that sort of fair? Or
In terms of what I don't quite understand the
I
question.
assume they mean if they're on at the same time, who are you going to watch?
yeah, who's
thank-
everyone following?
Ooh.
For me, it's the All Blacks, but it's pretty close. I mean, if they're in contention, I think the golf might get a run. If it's just they're playing, no, I'll definitely
that's
watch
fair.
the All Blacks.
Oh man,
But I mean, I'm a golf nut, but I mean, I grew up in a rugby playing household. I played rugby for 15 years, and my old man's still a selector. So there's a little bit of a pull there to the ABs. Although
What posse
I
did
have
you
to
play,
say I
Foxy?
didn't watch the Island game, thankfully.
Yeah, fair. You watched the France game?
I watched the first half and then had to tow the boat back to Auckland before playing golf. And I listened to it on the radio and turned it off. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
rightio. And I want to get into this. Is actually a question that I had, but someone's asked it, so we'll jump in. Who inspired you to play golf?
It'd be my old man. I mean, I had clubs
Yeah.
as a kid. I think my granddad at one point made me a set of like wooden kids clubs with some bamboo shafts or something in it. But I always had clubs. Yeah. I was probably like 2 or 3, so they were more deadly weapons than golf clubs. But yeah, we used to always had a decent backyard when I was a kid, so I'd always hit balls around the backyard. And my old man used to take me to corporate days when I was sort of 10 or 11, and I think I played a round of golf at Auckland at one point before I was a member with Sir Ian Botham, Martin Crowe, and Mark Nicholas maybe, or some other cricketer. I was probably 10 or 11 at the time, and that I was pretty lucky in that sense. I got to do quite a lot of stuff like that when I was a kid, and I joined Whitford when I was 12 or 13, my first year of high school, and had a couple of mates there. And, I still play with them today, sort of 20-something years on.
And you're beating them now, though, eh?
I mean, they've got worse since they were 13, so it's not hard.
Okay, and then I'll move in. I got the question here from Sam Brooks, level pegs, backer of the KGC. So what's the course conditioning like? Challenge Tour versus the Euro Tour, like what's the difference there?
There's quite a decent difference. I mean, I can't comment on it currently because I haven't played Challenge Tour in 5 years, but when I played Challenge Tour, it was sort of, you'd play 3 or 4 pretty strong golf courses for the year, and they were generally the final events. And then the rest of it was pretty wide open, and well, it wasn't necessarily wide open, but it was no rough, just typical club courses, not really a tournament style golf course. So I think that's why you see every year, let's say there's 15 guys come through the Challenge Tour. Normally, there's probably 5 or 6 guys that are really good players and will get through anyway. And they're the guys that keep their card every year on the European Tour. And then there's, 5 guys that are decent players and have a chance. And there's probably a few guys that more get away with the golf course. Well, that certainly was the case when I got through Challenge Tour, that, there was always 3 or 4 guys that you just knew when you get to European Tour, when the greens firmed up, when you had, much longer rough, generally much longer golf courses, there was a few guys that were really going to struggle to keep a card out on the European Tour. And that's what happened every week. It's definitely a step up. Most weeks we do play some average courses on the European Tour, but I certainly probably played some worse courses with COVID, but it is generally much stronger on the European Tour compared to the Challenge Tour. And I think this year it'll get back to being strong again. We've got Golf National back on the rotor, and a couple of other really good golf courses that are coming back this year that we've sort of missed. So I think that the golf courses will be even better this year than we've had the last couple of years.
Yeah. Awesome. Just taking it back to the cricket, and I saw a question come through from my old man. So why didn't you get into cricket, given your granddad was such a coaching legend in Auckland and all the money in IPL T20s around the world?
Well, I played cricket all the way through school. That was my main sport. I played a year of Premier cricket after I left school. When I stopped playing cricket, there was no IPL, there was no T20 cricket. I think maybe they just started in the UK, but it wasn't a thing. And to be honest, I didn't enjoy it as much as I used to. I enjoyed school cricket with all my mates, but the Premier cricket, I got along with all the guys great, but it didn't really do it for me as much. And I was training to be a lawyer at that point, and took a couple of months off and I need something competitive to do. I played off 2 and thought I'll try some tournament golf, got some coaching, started practicing a little bit, and that was me done. So I think I've made a good choice in the end.
Yeah, for sure. Standing out in whites all day.
J-Man can fuck off.
Set this all up for that one soundbite. That's going to be my new text tone when it comes through.
That's classic.
I'm expecting a text from him right now, just laughing.
He doesn't need to text you. He can just keep throwing them like, yeah.
If J-Man came and joined us on the potty and asked some questions, maybe we could get some good stuff out of him. But J-Man chose to not join us.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he spelled cricket right, to be honest.
Autocorrect.
Took him 45 minutes to work out how to use Google or spell check, I guess, to get the comment in. But
Let's go. We'll bring up Steve Watkinson's question, Foxy, and this is an interesting one, I think. Is a transition to the PJ Tour in the cards for you? Is that a goal of yours?
It's probably not as much of a goal now as what it was 5 years ago. I mean, it's not, the goal is to get in the top 50 in the world and play both tours, but I don't enjoy the States anywhere near as much as Europe. That's pure and simple. I like, just as a place to go, a place to travel around, I like Europe. The States is the weeks I've done there, I've not really enjoyed it as much as I did when I was an amateur traveling over there. I've been lucky. Pretty much all the professional events I've played in the States have been majors, plus the Memorial. So I've played some, the best of the best out there, and it's decent. I know a lot of the guys, and they're all good guys. I think just the States in general, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
I just got a text from J-Man right there.
Yes. Hey, well, how about this? We'll get back at him. Right here. Wait, can I show this one? Here we go. Give us a good story about J-Man. Throw him under the bus.
Okay, yeah. Here's a good one. I told this at his 21st.
There we go.
So
22 years ago.
For the this is showing our age. So for the New Zealand under 23s used to be at Hastings. It was like 15 years ago, maybe even it'll be a big good 15 years ago, and we used to stay on a family friend's 1,500 acre sheep farm, and every night he used to give us the 22, the keys to his ute, and a box of bullets, and say, "Can you get rid of the rabbits for me?" So we always obliged, and the what we used to do was have one of us driving and the other sit in the back seat, so you could sort of climb on the window and either shoot over the top of the truck or sort of out the window, because it was night at that point. You needed the headlights, and I remember sort of leaning my head out the window. We had a rabbit right in the middle of the headlights, and all I hear is J-Man. I go, "Shoot, J-Man, shoot!" And so he shoots, and some piece of plastic lands on my lap, and he missed the rabbit. I'm like, "What did you do?" And looked over, and he hit the wing mirror. I mean, he's probably missed my head by like 6 inches at that point. And he looks at me and he goes, "I wondered why it was all blurry in the scope."
I'm the sniper from way back.
Oh,
well, I could give you another one for him, which proves he's not a sniper. My uncle lives on
every time with a weed.
My uncle and grandparents had kiwi fruit orchards, and we used to stay down there for tournaments around Tauranga and stuff, and always used to go out possum hunting with my uncle. And one time he had a shotgun. We were never allowed to hold the shotgun, but he'd let us shoot the shotgun every now and again. And Jace got pretty excited. He's like, "Just let me shoot a shotgun. Let me shoot a shotgun." And finally my uncle relented and just gave him the shotgun and said, "Just shoot something." Jace found a hedgehog, right? And we're all going, "Jace, just don't shoot the hedgehog, please." And he's like, "No, I want to shoot something. I want to shoot something." So he goes, "I'm going to shoot the hedgehog." He literally gets a yard away with a shotgun, with a spread, and misses it. Let's just say he was never allowed to shotgun again.
And he's never had a gimme putt in the last 20 years. Jeez. Oh my God. Hey, we've got a question from Manaki Maxwell. One of the lads can bring that up.
There you go.
Have you played with anyone that is good at golf, but it's not their main sport? For example, Aaron Smith.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best guy I've played with, and this wasn't that long ago. I played with Tim Henman up in London 6 or 8 weeks ago, maybe a little longer. I mean, he's not a tennis player anymore, but he's still heavily involved in tennis. And I played decent around the back tees at Sunningdale and got him by 1 off the stick.
Oh,
wow.
Handy.
Do guys like that think about turning pro or anything?
I think I shot. Sorry, I missed that, Jonesy.
No, you go, mate. You go. I'll ask after.
Well, he had, I think I had 2 or 3 under, which is a pretty decent score around there. And I think he eagled the last to shoot 1 worse than me. But considering I was supposed to be giving him 4 shots, I got absolutely dealt to.
Yeah, right. I was just saying, to guys like that think about playing top level amateur golf, or even talk to you about turning pro or anything like that?
Nah, No, I mean, none of them are that interested. I think, Ponting's another one. I've never played with Ponting, but he's
handy.
Renowned for being a better than scratch golfer. And, they've done their competitive stuff for the most part. I think they're just quite keen to just be decent golfers. They love it. I mean, Warnie's another one. God, he would play 5 times a week. He'd probably play more golf in a year than I do. But it's about playing with mates, and he wants the competition of playing with mates. But it's playing Dunhill Links with him every year. That's sort of the 1 or 2 tournaments he wants to. He play. I think he's played New Zealand Open a few times. He plays that, but that sort of gets him going. But the rest of it's just playing with mates, and I think most of them are the same.
Yeah, it's almost like J.R. Smith would probably be the only one that I could think of, kind of at the moment.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers,
Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony Romo.
Ryan Lara.
Lara's good, but Lara plays golf right-handed.
I've got a good story about that, actually, just quickly, real quick. So Brian Lara, obviously one of the best left-handed batsmen on the planet. And he started playing golf, and his coaches said to him that if you want to play golf, you've got to play right-handed golf because it'll interfere with your cricket. So he said, okay, and started playing right-handed golf and got down to, I think he's on a scratch or maybe one, somewhere around there, Foxy?
Yeah, he's definitely low single figures.
Yeah. He
loves golf. I've seen him randomly at a few tournaments around the Middle East and stuff, just walking around spectating. And it's I think golf for a lot of those top sports, when the rugby players included, is an escape. It's something they can do, during, the week of a test match. The guys can go and play around the golf in a cart. It's pretty relaxing. They're not going to hurt their bodies, but it's mentally, it's an escape. And I think, in sport, you need that. My escape's fishing pretty much. But, there's plenty of golfers that surf or, play music or whatever. You just need something. But I think a lot of other sportsmen use golf as their escape.
Speaking of surfing, Kelly Slater's handy at golf too, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a scratch golfer.
Yeah.
Because he was up at Tariti there as well, and teaching the guys how to surf and such too, like very early on.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3 years ago or so.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Which was like, how rad is it if you're like a kid just hanging out in the surf with a person like that? And he goes, and I play golf. It's a great way to see how those two sports can mix together so easily. So that's awesome. Now we're getting close. We've only got a few minutes left, and that's awesome stuff. People out there listening, you've got some quick fire questions to slam through. Send those in now. We'll try answer a couple of those before we wrap it up. What we did have last week was actually I'll do that at the end, Pete. Hold on. Okay. Actually, how am I going to fit a giveaway in? Sorry. Now I understand. Now, Pete, bring it back up. I'll get you on the big screen. Hang on. Sorry, bring it back up. How do I do it?
Couple of fresh lids.
There we go. We got new caps. Yeah, new caps coming out by the Kiwi Golf Club. Little high front in there. Anyone who's put a comment in tonight, and any comments that come in the next couple of minutes, we'll put you into the draw to win one of those caps. And anyone listening after we publish the podcast there, place a comment, and we'll also give another away after the live one. So slam those ones in. Now, we did have Mr. DNC in last week talking about fitness and golf, which was a massive part, big eye opener for some of the beer bellies out there who listen in too. So Dan, you got a couple just related to Ryan and what he does.
Oh yeah, 100%. So for those of you that don't know, Foxy is heavily involved in training in the gym. He's got his own setup in his garage at home, and he trains with the OG of golf fitness, Mr. Crazy Irishman, Paulie. So
the Crazy Irishman.
Yeah, that's the best way to talk to lean on him. But anyway, so the question that I had for Foxy was, how much influence has your golf-specific gym regime had on you becoming one of the longest hitters on tour? Or have you just always had distance?
Paulie's probably going to hate it, but it probably hasn't had that much effect on how far I hit it. It's more just how consistent it's been. I always hit it far as a kid. I've always probably been lucky in the fact I've been relatively strong. Maybe that's just playing a shitload of sport growing up as well. But for me, every sport I've ever done, playing cricket, I always wanted to hit 4s and 6s. Playing tennis, I wanted to hit a big serve and hammer forehands, and playing golf, I just wanted to smash driver as far as I could. So it's kind of always been there. And the strength thing makes a difference, but I think the sequencing part of it is the more important part of the length side of things, and I've always been good at that. But I think that the strength side of things is more in terms of injury prevention and just making everything more stable and just easier to generate that power. I don't think I've probably got any faster with the gym training. It's just been easier, basically.
So just furthering then, that kinematic sequencing type thing, do you do a lot of that with Wheelie? Does he touch on like the kinematic sequencing?
No, never, to be honest. But
no.
That's me. It's not something that's I've ever had to think about. I've always had really good, force going on the left side. They talk about the vertical force. I'm not really a technique nut in that sense, but I've always got down into my left side and then been able to sort of explode from the ground up in that sense. And then always had pretty fast hands on top of that. So, it's not really something that Willie and I have worked on. We've more worked on making sure the club's in front and I can deliver it consistently. And I've got control over the flight of it because the speed part, the sequencing part of it's never been something that I've had to worry about. The direction's something I've definitely had to worry about.
Do you reckon, Foxy,
control?
Do you reckon, Foxy, for the young golfers out there, the juniors that are watching you, and I think the cool thing for me, like I've started working with a lot of juniors, and when I ask them who their favourite golfer is, a lot of them are now saying you, which I think is pretty cool that they've got a Kiwi to look up to. Would you say to them that, it's pretty epic. Would you say for them that they should just learn how to hit it far first and then try rein it in? Or do you think finding fairways is what they should be doing?
No, definitely hit it as far as you can. I think, and this is not a criticism of New Zealand golf courses at all, but generally we grow up on courses that are short and tight, and you get penalised for hitting it a little bit offline. So you either end up going one or two ways. You either end up tapping it down the fairway to try to hit it straight, or you take the theory that I had and smash it real hard and just hope you hit it wide enough you've got a shot.
Yes.
And I think if you look overseas for the most part, especially places like the States, you've generally got a lot of room on your golf hole. The fairway might be narrow, but you've got some space between the trees, and you've always got a bunker to cover that at 300 yards or something that you get a massive advantage if you do hit it over it. So it just encourages young people to hit it hard. If you look at Corn Ferry Tour or Challenge Tour and stuff like that now, a lot of the guys coming up are hitting it miles, and it's just that's the way golf's going. And I don't think it's a lot. I think it's a lot easier to learn how to hit it straight when you're older than it is to learn how to hit it far. And when I say older, I mean just purely as a 25-year-old. Obviously you can. Bryson has been one of the guys that's shown it is possible to gain speed. And there's a lot of guys working towards trying to gain speed now. But, there's also quite a few guys that said the chase for speed has ruined their golf game. There's not too many of the guys that have had speed that have ruined their golf game trying to hit it straight. You're still going to have that speed still going to be there. You're just going to have some club face control. Even Lydia did it for a while. She looked like she chased a little bit of speed for a while and kind of, lost her way, lost her golf swing, and it's good to see she's got it back now and she's happy. And there's probably a few other factors in there as well. But I think as a kid, it's a great thing. You can, you're not under any pressure. You can just stand there and smash it and go up and find it or find someone else's ball and whack that.
Round of white. That's it. Round of white. That's what I'm playing. Yes, sweet as. Any number? Yeah, that's the one. All right, we just we'll go through the last few questions here. We're on an hour, so I really appreciate the time. But a very quick one. I know there's not much out from the local PGA, but is there any local ones that you're eyeing up, or just maybe hang around Auckland, stay nearby?
I'll play the New Zealand Open, New Zealand PGA if. Hopefully they go ahead and, we can get some actual tour players down to play it from Aussie. And I think in my personal opinion, it might be hard for those tournaments to go ahead if we can't get the Oz Tour guys to come down and play. But that's God knows what's going on with New Zealand in that sense. But hopefully that they do go ahead, and I'm planning to play that. But other than that, I'm going to have a stupidly busy year. I'm away for 6 weeks from mid-January, back for 8 weeks, and then probably away from mid-April to November again. So as much as it pains me to say, I don't really want to waste a week or a weekend at home, playing a Pro-Am or playing a small event. I really enjoyed playing the Charles Tour events this year. But I got to look at the bigger picture, and sometimes you got to be a little bit selfish in that respect. And I'm going to play probably 25 to 30 events plus on the European Tour or the DP World Tour. I've got to get used to saying that this year. So I'm not young anymore. Like, I can't go and chase 40 events, and obviously I'm going to pick the bigger ones over some of the ones back here, unfortunately.
Well, you did mention the Charles Tour, and we got a question from local junior Fraser Bond. And then, where is your favourite win, and why was it Gulf Harbour? No, but what has been one of your more favourite wins out there and actually playing?
And why is it Gulf Harbour?
Look, if you say favourite win, I mean, the one's going to be Perth in 2019, obviously. But I mean, Gulf Harbour was really satisfying for me, purely in I hadn't played a Charles Tour event in, someone can correct me on this, but probably since 2014. Before that, I only had one. I'd won Mirabai, I think, in 2014. 2014 or 2013, something like that. And you kind of feel a little bit of pressure in that sense, like
you're playing big events.
As arrogant as it sounds, you feel like I should go out and win. Like, I've played against the top 10 players in the world, and competed in that sense. So to come out and play the Charles Tour. Oh yeah, there we go. Thanks, Andrew. 2014. It feel like my game should stack up pretty nicely on the Charles Tour, and I should be up there and probably should win. And it was nice to go out and do it, and especially do it the way I did that last round. I haven't had too many better rounds of golf than that. I probably left a few out there, to be honest, as well.
10 under, and you leave a few out there. That I'll never have that feeling, apart from maybe on Xbox.
I did actually say to J-Man, because he caddied for me on the Sunday, that I'll just go out and shoot 10 under tomorrow and win by 7. And it ended up being slightly prophetic, which was a bit strange.
I thought I had that photo.
Happen. Normally when you say that, you go and shoot 75.
Can we keep the photo of J-Man on the 17th hole carrying your bag?
On the ground?
Yeah, I do have that photo.
It was a tough day for him. He didn't have to do anything but carry a bag.
I was going to say, a caddy carries for 18 holes, doesn't he?
He asked for a car.
I can't say I've had any caddy on tour have a sleep in the fairway. I mean, granted it's probably slow enough out there at times that you could, but I've definitely not had a caddy sleep in the fairway on the 71st hole of a tournament when you're leading by what I was at 6 or 7 at that point. I mean, most caddies are pretty excited at that point, not ready to have a nap.
You're definitely right there. I wish I had the photo lined up. I thought I had it somewhere, but we'll wrap it up there, and we'll finish off with giving away one of these hats. PVK, we've got a winner there that we can choose.
We're giving away 3 of them.
We're giving away 3 caps. Oh,
yeah, man, you're generous.
Splash out.
Shut the
So Manaki Maxwell, Steve Watkinson, Oliver Maxwell, and we'll throw one out to Leo as well. Give it 4. So just
Leo.
Leo. Leave us a message on our Kiwi Golf Club page.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good. Yeah, we'll see those tags go up. Yeah, well, we'll wrap it up there. We've gone a little bit over time. Thank you very much, Ryan, for the time that you've given us. And we've had so many comments, and I wish I could have got through absolutely all of them. But that was wicked. Thanks very much for that.
If you want to ask me a few more, I'm good. So.
Encore. Encore.
Encore. We've never really done encores before. I don't know if we've ever planned for this. What's the structure of an encore? I'll throw this one up very quickly until I find a question. No, ZLB golf standard. Oh, okay. I'll just do it. We'll just do that. Nah, it's too boring. No, we'll wrap it up there. I don't want to actually extend it. We'll throw them out in the comments, and I can't find one unless PVK can.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Foxy, mate.
Yeah. We'll call it there.
Thanks, boy.
No, I really appreciate it. No, it's been awesome.
It's always nice ripping J-Man for half an hour of the podcast.
Hey, is that Eric
Foxy,
Murray, the rower?
Now,
Foxy, if you ever need anyone to babysit the boat when you go away.
I can make a comment about Eric. There is someone that absolutely loves golf.
Yeah.
And he's put in some serious work, and he has game now.
Oh.
How good.
Got a good no going on there
that's,
as well.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah,
respect.
he's someone that's got the bug, like the proper golf bug. The addiction's got him. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that.
That's epic. I reckon that's the best thing about golf is all the other athletes come play our game, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean that. Like, say from my point of view, you say somewhere like Dunhill Links, right? Where there's all the celebrities there, and there's all these stupidly wealthy businessmen, multi-billionaires there, and they look up to you for a week. I mean that's the strangest thing about this game, and I can call Shane Warne mate from that tournament. It's awesome. Strange. I played a lot of social golf with him outside of that. Now, played with. I mean, I grew up playing cricket. I'm a cricket nut. Played with Sir Ian Botham, Michael Vaughan, chatting to Kevin Peterson and stuff there. It's nuts, and it shows how good a game golf is. When you can have a tournament like that where everyone can compete, but just the fact that there's so many people from different walks of life that love the game, and it doesn't have to be the celebrities and the billionaires. You can, just go down to your driving range, spend $5 and hit some balls, and you've got that level of golf as well.
Yeah,
that's a great way to get it.
It's a great leveler. There's no other game in the world that you can. Again, Eric's commented again. I've seen him take a couple of people on in ergs, and there's zero chance that any normal person will get close to him. Whereas, I can go have a game of golf with him tomorrow with the handicapping system, and he could kick my ass. Probably would kick my ass considering how many shots I probably have to give him.
What's the word? What's the word there, PVK, for a gentleman like that? With how many shots he has to give?
Oh, yeah. Pahu. Burglar.
Pahu. Yeah. No, to that one there.
Well, I mean, anyone's a burglar when you've got to give them. I think I've got to give everyone like 8 or 9 at the moment because our handicapping system's a little messed up.
Well, let's wrap on that. What is your official handicap?
I'm effectively giving Eric 14 to 15, so I've got no chance.
What's your index, Foxy?
Current one's plus 8.7.
Because I think BC was playing in a club day down at Millbrook last week. Ben Campbell was having a hit. And I think his +7 or +8 index took him down to like a +11 on the day. I think he needed to shoot 11 under to have 36 savies.
Yeah.
Here we go. Foxy versus Eric on the golf course. Let's get it done.
I'm keen. I'm real keen. I mean, I might have to negotiate.
$100 a hole.
Favourable terms.
Giving him 9 shots.
Better turns.
But he's also way bigger than me, so I might not win that.
Yeah.
We'll get you both along to a Kiwi golf club, though. How's that?
I'm up for it if I'm in the country.
Yeah.
We'll base it around your schedule. I'm sure a lot of people, and as Cam says, it's awesome to see some.
Oh yeah, Tieki.
So it's awesome to see some Kiwi juniors out there who really look up to you now, and they're the first person they say that's their favourite golfer, and that's it's awesome to see. So I really appreciate you doing this for us.
That still feels weird.
Yeah, you'll be up there. You'll be the Kiwi Tiger Woods, I'm sure.
I think I have to do a little better than I'm doing to be the Kiwi Tiger Woods. I'm probably just lucky none of them are old enough to remember Cambo.
Sure.
All right. Well, no, thanks very much, Ryan, and thanks for everyone for tuning in. I do hope we can do this again sometime soon. That was absolutely awesome. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah, thanks heaps, Foxy.
Thanks, boys.
Shot Foxy.
Thanks, Foxy.
Have a good one.
Yes.
See you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we